it's Melanie. Welcome to my channel. Today I have another book outlet haul for you, so stay tuned. So today I have my October book outlet haul. So let's just dig right in. I got 3 boxes here to show you. Got my receipt here. And some paper. So much paper. Okay, so the first 3 books in this box are actually part of a trilogy, or is a trilogy. And that is Scarlett, Lady Thief, and Lionheart. And I think this is like a Robin Hood retelling, or based in the Robin Hood world. Oh, and this is by A.C. Goffin, I believe is how it's pronounced. She wrote Reign the Earth, which is the Elemente series. This book right here. So this says, she is a thief, a liar, and a killer, and she'll stop at nothing to defend her people. Scarlett is good at keeping secrets. To the people of Nottingham, she's Will Scarlett, the young lad who protects those who cannot protect themselves. To Robin Hood and his band of thieves, she's the girl with a tongue as sharp as her knives. But nobody knows the truth about Scarlett's life before Nottingham, not even Rob, whose quick smiles have the rare power to unsettle her. And when someone from her past comes hurtling back into her life, everything she's fought for is suddenly at risk, including her own life. Scarlett was $2.71, Lady Thief was $2.71, and Lionheart was $2.71. Okay, so this next book I've actually had in the past, but I had a paperback of it, and I wanted the hardcover because I have the sequel in hardcover. And I gave my paperback as part of a giveaway like a while back. But I wanted Roar by Cora Carmack. This says, challenge a tempest, survive it, and you become its master. Aurora Pavin comes from one of the oldest Stormling families in existence. Long ago, the ungifted pledged fealty and service to her family in exchange for safe haven, and a kingdom was carved out of the wildlands and sustained by magic, capable of repelling the world's deadliest foes. As the sole heir of Pavin, Aurora has been groomed to be the perfect queen. She's intelligent and brave and honorable, but she's yet to show any trace of the magic she'll need to protect her people. To keep her secret and save her crown, Aurora's mother arranges for her to marry a dark and brooding Stormling prince from another kingdom. At first, the prince seems like the perfect solution to all her problems. He'll guarantee her spot as the next queen and be the champion her people need to remain safe. But the more secrets Aurora uncovers about him, the more a future with him frightens her. When she dons a disguise and sneaks out of the palace one night to spy on him, she stumbles upon a black market dealing in the very thing she lacks, storm magic. And the people selling it? They're not Stormlings, they're Storm Hunters. Legend says that her ancestors first gained their magic by facing a storm and stealing part of its essence. And when a handsome young Storm Hunter reveals he was born without magic but possesses it now, Aurora realizes there's a third option for her future besides ruin or marriage. She may not have magic now, but she can steal it if she's brave enough. And this was $5.94. Okay, next up is Ugly Love by Colleen Hoover. I've heard a lot of people, I think there's like mixed reviews on Colleen Hoover's books. I think a lot of them are like contemporary romance books. And then her newest one, I think, has got like a little bit of a thriller aspect to it, I believe. But I know that there's some people that really love Colleen Hoover, and then there's others that just don't care for her. So I thought I'd get this and try it out. It says, an unforgettable love story that breaks all the rules. It's not exactly love at first sight for Tate Collins when she meets the tormented and secretive Miles Archer. They wouldn't even go so far as to consider themselves friends. The only thing Tate and Miles have in common is a mutual physical attraction that can't be denied. Once their desires are out in the open, they realize they might have stumbled on the perfect no-strings arrangement. He isn't looking for love, and she doesn't have time for it. So that leaves just the sex. What they've got could be surprisingly satisfying as long as Tate can stick to the 2 rules Miles has for her. Never ask about the past. Don't expect a future. They think they can handle it, but everything is different when real emotions start to change the equation. Hearts get infiltrated, promises get broken, rules get shattered, love gets ugly. And this was 543. Okay, so this next book is another book that I've heard a lot of people talk about. I know a lot of people love this book. I know Kayla from Books and Lala, she likes this book. I've heard several other people say good things about this, and it is We Are the Ants by Sean David Hutchinson. This says, there are a few things Henry Denton knows and a few things he doesn't. Henry knows that his mom is struggling to keep the family together and coping by chain-smoking cigarettes. He knows that his older brother is a college dropout with a pregnant girlfriend. He knows that he is slowly losing his grandmother to Alzheimer's. And he knows that his boyfriend committed suicide last year. What Henry doesn't know is why the aliens chose to abduct him when he was 13. And he doesn't know why they continue to steal him from his bed and take him aboard their ship. He doesn't know why the world is going to end or why the aliens have offered him the opportunity to avert the impending disaster by pressing a big red button. But they have. And they've only given him 144 days to make up his mind. The question is whether Henry thinks the world is worth saving. That is, until he meets Diego Vega, an artist with a secret past who forces Henry to question his beliefs, his place in the universe, and whether any of it really matters. But before Henry can save the world, he's got to figure out how to save himself. And the aliens haven't given him a button for that. And this was 322. Okay, next is another book that I believe I learned about from Kayla over at Books and Lala. I get a lot of book recommendations from her. Her and Chelsea are like probably the people I get the most recommendations as far as books from. But we have The Nowhere Girls by Amy Reed. This one says, who are the Nowhere Girls? They're every girl, but they start with just 3. Grace Salter is the new girl in town whose family had to leave their former community after her Southern Baptist pastor mom turned into a radical liberal. Rosina Soares is the queer punk girl in a conservative Mexican immigrant family who dreams of a life playing music instead of waitressing at her uncle's restaurant. Erin DeLillo is obsessed with 2 things, marine biology and Star Trek The Next Generation. But they aren't enough to distract her from her suspicion that she may be an android. Grace wants nothing more than to be invisible at her new school, but when she learns that Lucy Moynihan, the former occupant of her new home, was run out of town after accusing the popular guys at school of gang rape, she convinces Rosina and Erin to join her mission to get justice for Lucy. They form an anonymous group of girls at Prescott High to resist the sexist culture at their school, which includes boycotting sex of any kind with the male students. As the Nowhere Girls grow in number, their movement becomes about more than sex and transforms the lives of its members, their school, and the entire community. The Nowhere Girls are everywhere. And yeah, like I said, I've heard really great things about this, and I'm looking forward to reading it. This was $5.94. And then the last book in this box, I used to hear about a lot. I haven't heard anybody say anything about it in a while. And I don't recall anybody talking about it after they've read it. I just remember a lot of people getting it when it first came out and talking about it then. But not anybody really talking about it much since then. And that is An Enchantment of Raisins. Not An Enchantment of Raisins. An Enchantment of Ravens by Margaret Rogerson. This would be very different if it were raisins and not ravens. This says, every enchantment has a price. With a flick of her paintbrush, Isabel creates stunning portraits for a dangerous set of clients, the fair folk. These immortal creatures cannot bake bread or put a pen to paper without crumbling to dust. They crave human craft with a terrible thirst, and they trade valuable enchantments for Isabel's paintings. But when she receives her first royal patron, Rook, the Autumn Prince, Isabel makes a deadly mistake. She paints mortal sorrow in his eyes, a weakness that could cost him his throne and even his life. Furious, Rook spirits Isabel away to his kingdom to stand trial for her crime. But something is seriously amiss in his world, and they are attacked from every side. With Isabel and Rook depending upon each other for survival, their alliance blossoms into trust, perhaps even love, a forbidden emotion that would violate the fair folk's ruthless laws, rendering both their lives forfeit. What force could Isabel's paintings conjure that is powerful enough to defy the ancient malice of the fairy courts? Isabel and Rook journey along a knife edge in a lush world where beauty masks corruption, and the cost of survival might be more frightening than death itself. And this was $6.36. Okay, so the subtotal for all 8 of these books was $35.02. And then I used $20 in rewards, so I paid $15.02 for these 8 books. Now on to the next box. Got my receipt. Paper. 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 Okay, so the next 5 books in this box are part of a series, and it's not even the complete series. But they looked really cute, and well, I was able to get a big chunk of the series off of Book Outlet, so I thought I'd do that. So we have book number 1, which is Geek Girl by Holly Small. Book 2, which is Model Misfit. Book 2.5, it's a little novella, which is Geek Drama, a little short book. Book 3, which is Picture Perfect. And book 4, which is All That Glitters. And these are rather large, like over 400 pages for this one. So there is a novella that's supposed to go between 1 and 2, but I didn't see that on Book Outlet. That one's called All Wrapped Up. And then there's another novella after book 4, which is Sunny Side Up. And then there's 2 more books in the series as well. We got Head Over Heels and Forever Geek. But like I said, they didn't have those on Book Outlet. So let me tell you about Geek Girl. And I'm actually going to tell you from Goodreads because this back doesn't really tell you enough. This says, Harriet Manners knows a lot of things. She knows that a cat has 32 muscles in each ear. A jiffy lasts 1/100th of a second, and the average person laughs 15 times per day. What she isn't quite so sure about is why nobody at school seems to like her very much. So when she's spotted by a top model agent, Harriet grabs the chance to reinvent herself, even if it means stealing her best friend's dream, incurring the wrath of her archenemy Alexa, and repeatedly humiliating herself in front of the impossibly handsome supermodel Nick, even if it means lying to the people she loves. As Harriet veers from one couture disaster to the next, with the help of her overly enthusiastic father and her uber-geeky stalker Toby, she begins to realize that the world of fashion doesn't seem to like her any more than the real world did. And as her old life starts to fall apart, the question is, will Harriet be able to transform herself before she ruins everything? And I just thought it sounded super cute. So Geek Girl was $4.29. Model Misfit was $4.29. Geek Drama was $2.19. Picture Perfect was $2.19. And All That Glitters was $3.19. Okay, so there are actually 2 books in this box that I'm not going to show because they're gifts. So I'll just tell you the price. One is a classic, a Penguins classic, and it was $4.29. And the other is a non-fiction self-help kind of thing. Not really self-help, I don't think, but like a guide maybe. And it was $4.79. Okay, next is a book that I very much got for myself because I love to travel. I want to travel all over the world. I want to see and do everything. And, well, I'm also cheap. That's why I love Book Outlet, because it's cheap. And I'm always looking to find the best deal and be able to go and do and see more and experience more without spending more, pretty much. So I got How to Travel the World on $50 a Day. Travel cheaper, longer, smarter. And this is by Matt Kepnes. And yes, I definitely am going to be reading this because I want to go and do some traveling this summer. Like literally I want to like fly over to Europe and just bounce all over the place. Okay, so this was $5.89, and yeah, this is gonna be something I put on my TBR very, very soon. Okay, this next book is a book that I actually got for Xander, and it is Spooksville, Pan's Realm. It says this book was previously titled The Little People by Christopher Pike. It says, welcome to Spooksville, where the weird is normal. Do fairies and gnomes exist? Are leprechauns and elves real? Most people, including Adam, would say obviously not. But one day, a whole herd of magical creatures invades Spooksville. At first, they play a childish prank, and Adam and his friends are happy to welcome them. But quickly, the pranks turn cruel, and Adam, Sally, Watch, and Cindy are soon fighting for their lives. Where did these mythical creatures come from? And most importantly, how can Adam and his friends make them go away? And this is a little bitty short thing. This was $2.19. I feel like that might have been part of a series. It doesn't say it was, but let me look. Yeah, it's part of a series. Let's see what number this is. It's a rather large series. Oh my gosh. There are 25 books in this series. Okay, so this is book 8. I think though, maybe it can probably be read without having to read the rest of the series. Okay, so the next book that I have here is actually the 3rd book in a trilogy, which I already have the first 2 books. But I was able to get the 3rd one off of Book Outlet. And that is Infinite by Jody Meadows. And this is, like I said, the 3rd book in the Incarnate series. And currently, while I'm filming this, I haven't unpacked the first 2 books yet, so I can't pull them out and show you. But I did pull up the first book on Goodreads. And, well, it's the New Soul series. It says, New Soul. Anna is new. For thousands of years in range, 1 million souls have been reincarnated over and over, keeping their memories and experiences from previous lifetimes. When Anna was born, another soul vanished, and no one knows why. No soul. Even Anna's own mother thinks she's a no soul, an omen of worse things to come, and has kept her away from society. To escape her seclusion and learn whether she'll be reincarnated, Anna travels to the City of Heart, but its citizens are afraid of what her presence means. When dragons and sylph attack the city, is Anna to blame? Heart. Sam believes Anna's new soul is good and worthwhile. When he stands up for her, their relationship blooms. But can he love someone who may live only once? And will Anna's enemies, human and creature alike, let them be together? Anna needs to uncover the mistake that gave her someone else's life, but will her quest threaten the peace of heart and destroy the promise of reincarnation for all? And it also says, Jodi Meadows expertly weaves soul-deep romance, fantasy, and danger into an extraordinary tale of new life. And I got this for $4.29. Okay, this next book, well, the last book in this particular box is Eleanor Park by Rainbow Rowell. And I've never read anything by Rainbow Rowell, but I've heard lots and lots and lots of good things about this book and about, well, Rainbow Rowell's writing. So I thought I would check out what all the hype was about. This says, 2 misfits, 1 extraordinary love. Eleanor, red hair, wrong clothes. Standing behind him until he turns his head, lying beside him until he wakes up. Making everyone else seem drabber and flatter and never good enough. Eleanor. Park. He knows she'll love a song before he plays it for her. He laughs at her jokes before she ever gets to the punchline. There's a place on his chest just below his throat that makes her want to keep promises. Park. Set over the course of 1 school year, this is the story of 2 star-crossed 16-year-olds, smart enough to know that first love almost never lasts, but brave and desperate enough to try. Oh. And this was $3.19. So the subtotal for all 11 books, these 9 plus the other 2 I didn't show, was $40.79. And I used a $5 off coupon, one of those that comes in the boxes, to bring my total down to $35.79. And then I used $20 in rewards and paid $15.79 for all 11 books. If you haven't figured out by now, Book Outlet's reward program is awesome. Now on to the last box. Okay, got some paper, and my receipt. Okay, so the first 4 books in this box, I remember reading a couple of times on Book Outlet, and I thought they sounded pretty interesting, but I wasn't entirely sure if they were going to turn out to be like good or not. And then there was this other booktuber, and for the life of me, I can't remember who it was. But I used to watch her videos all the time. And she read this series and really, really, really liked it. And I was like, okay, I'll check it out. And so the next time I happened to see it on Book Outlet, I thought I'd get it. And that is The Goose Girl by Shannon Hale. This is, the series is called Books of Baron. So we have book 1, The Goose Girl. Book 2, I think it's Enna Burning. Book 3 is River Secrets. And book 4 is Forest Born. This says, some people are born with the first word of a language resting on their tongue, though it may take some time before they can taste it. Anadori Kiladra Talanya Isali, Crown Princess of Kildenary, spends the first years of her life listening to her aunt's stories and learning the language of birds, especially swans. As she grows up, Annie develops the skill of animal speech, but she never feels quite comfortable speaking with people. So when Annie's mother sends her away to be married in a foreign land, she finds herself at the mercy of her silver-tongued lady-in-waiting, who leads a mutiny that leaves her alone, destitute, and fleeing for her life. To survive, Annie takes on work as a royal goose girl, hiding in plain sight while she develops her forbidden talents and works to discover her own true powerful voice. And they're a lot thicker than I thought they were going to be too. Oh, there's like an interview with the author at the end, and like almost a chapter, like the first chapter of the next book. Still 383 pages though. Okay, Goose Girl was $3.79. In a Burning was $4.29. River Secrets was $4.29. And Forest Born was $4.79. Okay, so this next book is probably the book I'm most excited for in this box, because I picked up a book by this author. I want to say it was for Spookathon 2018, I think. And it was to read a book based on a fear. And I picked up this book that I thought it was going to be like a light and fluffy book, and it was about a girl trying to like conquer her fears. And it turned out to be such an amazing book, and was my favorite book of 2018. And I loved it so much, and I constantly raved about it. I still rave about it. It's called A Semi-Definitive List of Worst Nightmares, and it's such a good book. But I saw another book by that author, and I literally picked up this other book on a whim at Barnes & Noble for Spookathon and ended up falling in love with it. So when I saw that there was another book by this author on Book Outlet, I had to get it. And that is Our Chemical Hearts by Crystal Sutherland. And I am so excited to read this. So it says here, love is epic, and then it's got corrections. Love is an epic disaster. It says, Henry Page never expected to fall in love. He might fancy himself a romantic, but that slow-mo, canny, can't sleep kind of love he's been hoping for just hasn't been in the cards for him. At least not yet. Henry's too busy anyway. He's a senior trying to get into a semi-decent college, and he's finally made editor of his school newspaper. A dream 3 years in the making. The rest of his spare time he spends with his best friends, Lola and Murray, playing video games and advising them on their own sordid love lives. Then he meets Gracetown, the elusive new girl in school who wears oversized boys' clothing, walks with a cane, rarely seems to shower, and is hiding crushing secrets. She's hardly what Henry expected his dream girl to be, but when the two are chosen to edit the paper together, sparks fly. After all this time, Henry's about to learn firsthand just how disastrous the road to first love can be, and that sometimes it's the detours that end up mattering much more. A brilliant debut that is equal parts humor and heartbreak, Crystal Sutherland's Our Chemical Hearts is a potent reminder of the bittersweet bliss that is first love. And I've checked out the reviews on this because this was the debut novel from her, though the other one was one that I'd already read and loved. I didn't know if that one was a fluke or had greatly improved upon her work or whatever, but the reviews for this were also amazing. So I'm so excited to have this. And this was $6.39. Okay, so the next book is Glitter by April Lynn Pike, and I just have to say, glitter is a drug in this world. Okay, so this is set in the modern day at the Palace of Versailles, but outside the Palace of Versailles, everything is like normal modern world. Inside the palace, however, everyone acts as like it's still the 18th century. They eat, dress, speak, everything like that. And for our main character, Danica, she wants out into the real world, but she happens to witness the king murder somebody, and her mom decides to use this as a power play and blackmails the king into agreeing to take Danica as his queen. and when she turns 18. So she has 6 months to try to save herself, pretty much. She wants out. So she gets involved with a drug dealer dealing in glitter. I don't know if it's actual glitter or what, but apparently it's super addictive and you can put it in anything, and whoever uses it is gonna be like hopelessly addicted. And her plan is to sell this glitter and raise as much money as she can over the 6 months so she can get out of the palace before she gets married off to the king. And this was $6.39. This next book, I can't remember who I heard about this book from. It might have been Kayla over at Books and Lala. I'm not entirely sure. But I remember who, I think I've actually heard about it from a few different people, and they all really liked it. And that is We Are All Made of Molecules by Susan Nielsen. And it's also like a super cute book. Like, the cover is so cute. And there's like a smiley face and a sad face. And where is it? A little cat face. This says, a 13-year-old Stuart is academically brilliant but socially clueless. 14-year-old Ashley is the undisputed it girl in her class, but her grades stink. Their worlds are about to collide when Stuart and his dad move in with Ashley and her mom. The Brady Bunch, it isn't. Stuart is trying to be 89.9% happy about it, but Ashley is 110% horrified. She already has to hide the real person her dad moved out. Spewart could further threaten her position at the top of the social ladder. They are complete opposites, yet they have one thing in common. They, like everyone else, are made of molecules. In this hilarious and deeply moving story, award-winning author Susan Nielsen has created 2 narrators who will steal your heart and make you laugh out loud. And this is a fairly short book. Only 245 pages. So this should be a pretty quick read. Wait, what did I just see? Oh, okay. Comfort level / fitting in. And this was $1.19. Okay, next up is Girls Made of Snow and Glass by Melissa Bashardoust. I don't think I said that right, but I remember this getting a lot of hype a while back, but I don't really remember what anybody said about it. I just remember a lot of people when they first got it. This says, 16-year-old Mina is motherless. Her magician father is vicious, and her silent heart has never beat with love for anyone. In fact, her heart has never beat at all. But she'd always thought that was normal. Mina never guessed that her father had cut out her heart and replaced it with one of glass. When she moves to White Spring Castle and sees its king for the first time, Mina forms a plan. Win the king's heart with her beauty, become queen, and finally know love. The only catch is that she'll have to become a stepmother. 15-year-old Lynette looks just like her late mother, and one day she discovers why. A magician created her out of snow in the dead queen's image at her father's orders. But despite being the dead queen made flesh, Lynette would rather be like her fierce and regal stepmother Mina. She gets her wish when her father makes Lynette queen of the Southern Territories, displacing Mina. Now Mina is starting to look at Lynette with something like hatred, and Lynette must decide what to do, and who to be, to win back the only mother she's ever known, or else defeat her. Only one can win all, while the other loses everything, unless they can find a way to reshape themselves and their story. And, okay, this is like a Snow White retelling. Love that. I don't think I even realized that originally. Okay, this was $6.99. And my battery is flashing. I still have a couple more books. So, be right back. Gotta go change this battery. Okay, I'm back. Sorry if the angle changed. Okay, next up, actually the next two books are, well, I wanted to get my subtotal up to $40. So I needed a few more dollars, so I kept looking, and I found two books that I found interesting. The first one is Parallel by Lauren Miller. This says, "Your path changes, your destiny doesn't." Abby Barnes had a plan. The plan? She'd go to Northwestern, major in journalism, and land a job at a national newspaper. But one tiny choice, taking a drama class her senior year of high school, changed all of that. Now on the eve of her 18th birthday, she's on a Hollywood movie set wishing she could rewind her life. The next morning, she's in a dorm room with no memory of how she got there. Overnight, it's as if her past has been rewritten. A cosmic collision of parallel universes has left Abby living an alternate version of her life. Abby must race against time to take control of her fate without losing sight of who she is. The boy who might just be her soulmate, and the destiny that's finally within reach. I thought it sounded really interesting. And this was $1.19. And the other book I decided to pick up was Smart Craft Knitting, 12 terrific knitting projects for you to try. Because, well, I do like to knit. I actually learned, me and Becca and Xander all learned one day at the library how to knit. And this has got a couple of cute little things. I used to do it all the time, like a lot, but I haven't done it in a while. But I thought this would be, you know, fun to, you know, make some new things. Anyway, this was only 76 cents. Okay, so my subtotal for these 10 books, which are quite heavy in my hand, the subtotal was $40.07. I used one of those coupons that come in the box for $5 off and brought my total down to $35.07 and did not use any rewards when purchasing these. So that's what I paid, $35.07. So it comes out to about $3.50 a book. Not bad at all. Okay, well that's everything. Have you guys read any of these books? Did you like them? Did you not? Comment down below and let me know. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give me a big thumbs up. If you'd like to see more videos like this, click that subscribe button down below. And until next time, remember to always be completely you. Bye!